Hello, my name is Amy Wirtz, and I welcome you all to my interview with BJ Kowalski of ROE Dental Laboratories. We are going to explore how he, as a president of this family-owned business, has found a way to take what they do inside of ROE Dental Laboratories and convert it in order to provide supplies to Ohio for COVID-19 testing. I hope you enjoy our interview. Please explore family business consulting at thefbcg.com is our website, and my email address is wirtz@thefbcg.com. I look forward to answering any questions you may have. Thank you.
What we do is we're a dental manufacturing company. So we manufacture crowns, bridges, dentures. We have a real focus on more complex, sophisticated restorations with full mouth implant restored guided procedures, much more elaborate procedures. Our business went from being very busy and very vibrant, full parking lot, to virtually no business coming in overnight. Basically, our clients were forced to close down, and we broke our business down to a skeleton crew.
Called in and you decided you were going to make a new product, right?
Well, that's correct. I realized during this time that we had, both as a FDA registered facility, and we had a lot of one particular type of 3D printers. We used about 5 different types of 3D printers here, but one particular type of 3D printer seemed to have the lead on providing a prototype of a new type of nasopharyngeal swab for testing this, because there seemed to be a real lack of swabs. There's 2 different types of swabs in the world that are mostly used, in Copan and Puritan, and they're both family companies, just smaller companies, and they really couldn't handle the demands upon this. So as what usually happens in times of crisis, technology and creativity take the lead, and this design was created at USF Hospital and Norwell Hospital in a partnership with a company called Labs to create this design. And they released the design for 1 year with a license agreement for certain customers that have the right criteria to help produce it. And I threw our hat in the ring really before anyone else. I think at this point I'm the only producer outside of Labs making these devices. And it's a printer called a Form 3B is the printers that we use to print them. It can be made on other things, but it's very specific with the material that it's made out of. So it can be, it's a material used typically for dental surgical guides, which we used all the time for many years on thousands and thousands of units. So we are familiar with the materials, the post-processing, the curing, and the equipment.
So when did you start saying, I have to go figure out a new product in this environment?
Well, it's, from, like all of, the members of your groups listening, you're always trying to keep my ear down to see what's available. Right from the get-go, when I first saw that, I said, hey, we can make those, and we can make a lot of them because we already have, say, 20 of these printers. But we're at this point reserving our capacity for Ohio until we can fulfill their needs, which is our initial goal, is to try to help get our clients, our patients, our population back to work. So it was a gradual process that, once I, at some point, you got to take a gut check and say, hey, this is something we're going to try to do. And then once we made a decision to try to help in this area, we were making PPE appliances like face masks and things with our 3D printers, and we've done thousands of them. And we have a whole web shop available that's sold, hundreds of thousands of dollars in PPE and different unique things like face fitters and masks. But I realized that was only limited to how much we could help and how much we can produce in something that's bigger. But when you get into a real small thing like that, that's where we specialize. We're used to small things, very detailed, and that's what those were. So
And so when you did that, how many meetings with your shareholders do you have to do get this going?
Yeah, well, that's, the nice thing about being a small family company. It was 1 10-minute meeting. I pulled my sisters together, which are involved in the company, and there's two husbands, which have higher positions in the company, and they were on board.
Then after you did that, you got the okay, you worked with the Manufacturers Alliance, and they had an advocate for you. Is that what you told me, that assisted you with the government bid process? How long did that take you?
Yeah, well, it was it was a challenge anytime you're going through a state or large organization, but the state was in a need to act quickly. So this Ohio Manufacturing Alliance, which was the leadership of a group, a local business group called Magnet. It was an advocacy group and called Magnet, which is a nonprofit organization. They were kind of given the reins of this to head this Ohio Manufacturing Alliance, which was basically put together to help create source PPE materials for the state of Ohio. When I reached out to them and they said they had a need, it was very helpful because not only was it myself talking to the state or the Ohio state, which is really doing the purchasing and the quality control and the management of this medical devices.
So from the first week of March, when did you get approval for production?
Well, shortly, mid-March, after speaking to them, I was able to, first thing I wanted to do is make sure I had a licensing agreement in place. So I got a licensing agreement in place with the company. And at that point, we just this week, got basically a PO and an agreement in place with the state of Ohio for manufacturing.
So that's like 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
Approximately?
Initial idea to basically having a signed agreement.
And how are you, so today Governor DeWine announced that dentists are going to be one of the first people back to work, which is your primary customer group. You said you have about 200 employees, right? So if next week the dentists are back to work, I'm assuming they're going to have orders for you and need for your normal products. How
Right.
are you managing that with like producing hundreds of these swabs at the same time? As a small business owner?
Sure. So we're going to be obligated, and I told them I'm not going to let them down to produce 100,000 of these a week. So basically, I not only doubled down but tripled down on our investment in equipment. So none of at this point, as this inch closer to a deal, I kept investing in extra equipment with the understanding I could return it in 30 days if needed to. So now that I'm using it, I can't, return what's been in production, but we have an order, so we're good. But I kept investing in equipment, anticipating that, I couldn't put our primary business at risk for doing a temporary solution. So, I'm pretty confident that we can fulfill these needs with our staff or with an additional staff that we can bring in. We're counting on the fact that there's a lot of folks out there that could use work, even temporary employees like college kids and things like that are home for the summer, because a lot of it is packaging, and most of the labor intensive part is work that is really just packaging. It doesn't require a lot of training.
So BJ, you made a ton of decisions for capital improvement, budgetary decisions, employee decisions, growth decisions, working with new people. Who did you reach out to for support in making these decisions at the speed that you were making the decisions?
I reached out to my staff, my team. Our key decision makers on our management team. There's a small core group focused on forward focus group, that not what we're doing today, but what we're going to do tomorrow. So I reached out to them, and again, got consensus that this is a good idea, and rallied them to, reorganize our team. At this point, we're going to work 7 days a week in 4 different work shifts to try to get this work done. So we're going to work, and then we're also, having people work from home, doing education a couple days a week, so we don't have, practice proper social distancing. So, so we really had to not only call our team back, but reorganize everyone for, new hours and new responsibilities.
Well, thank you so much, and continue doing the great work that you do. Have a great day.
Yeah, good luck to you, Amy. See you. Bye.